Hey everyone, I'm Eric. I'm a photographer and videographer, and here are 10 little gadgets or tools that I think you should have if you're a filmmaker. I'm also going to have a bonus one at the end if you stick around. Everything in this video is going to be linked in the description if you want to check it out, and here we go. So number one, you may think, oh, a Leatherman? No. Actually, I should mention these are all cheap. I should also mention that these are all pretty cheap. I try to keep it under $50 for sure. Most of these are probably under 20. So we're going to start out with probably the most expensive thing. It's not the Leatherman, but it's actually a bit that goes in the Leatherman, even though you don't need the Leatherman, but you can put it in here. This is the Volti switch from PC Doodle. And the reason you should get one of these is because this can help you detect outlets that are working with its EMF mode. And if you've ever been on a set, especially in an old building, you'll quickly find that a lot of the outlets aren't working. And instead of having to go and plug something into each one, you can just go quick swipe it with this tool, and it will tell you if it's got electricity running through it or not. It also works for cables too. If you're trying to figure out if a cable is dead, you could just do a quick little swipe down the cable, and it will show you if there's electricity running through it. So. A little hard to see, but that's kind of like, this is kind of what it looks like. It's this little thing. You can actually put it on your keychain, and it comes with a cover. Super cool, super nice to have. And if you ever Leatherman, it's just a bonus. You can put it right in there, or just put it on your keychain. And speaking of keychains, I think we'll go to some more like EDC items. The first one, if I start with the cheapest EDC item, you're gonna 100% need a flathead screwdriver. Pretty much everything on camera gear is flathead screws. Especially a lot of rigging, tripod stuff, any of that kind of mounting hardware, you're going to need a flathead. So this is just like buy a really cheap wallet multi-tool. It's got a little flathead. You can open a bottle so you can celebrate afterwards. Couple nut drivers there. And this one you could also put on a keychain too if you wanted to, but it's got a blade on it. So it'd probably be safer in your wallet. But if you want to upgrade from that, especially if you fly a lot, this is the TSA compatible Leatherman. It's called the Style PS, and it's got pliers, it's got a little pair of scissors, and it's got the flathead. So super good. Also bottle opener and another keychain item, or you can throw it on a belt loop, or if you get a splinter, comes with a pair of tweezers. Really good little tool to fly with. I actually don't even know what this is on Amazon right now. And there are also other brands too. You don't really have to get a Leatherman. It's just one I happen to have. And as you can see, I am a Leatherman fan. So to continue with like the EDC tool theme going on, the magnet's very powerful. A flashlight is really good to have. The one on your phone is going to get you by maybe, but that's really annoying to hold after a while. And you can get some really tiny USB-C rechargeable flashlights now that are quite bright. So, and this one's got a bunch of different, it's got UV light so you can see how gross your clothes are. And it can clip to a hat. It's got a little magnet on it. This has saved the day. And my similar one, this has saved the day on set a couple times when you drop something. If you're shooting at night, you drop something, you don't have enough light, kind of do it, or you just got to kind of quickly adjust something. Especially since you can literally just throw it on like a lanyard. You can throw it on your hat, magnet it to something. Won't go to my watch, but you can magnet it to your Leatherman, and bam. You can clip that to something. So that's a more expensive option. Another option is like the Olight. This is like, I think their cheapest flashlight. It's USB-C rechargeable as well, but it is a bright little thing. And if you keep it on your keychain, it's always there. Keep that on your keychain with your tool, and you're good to go. I mean, this is most of it right there. And it comes up to another item. Who's counting? We're not counting. You should keep cables to charge stuff everywhere, and if you're not already on all USB-C, hopefully you get there, because it is pretty nice having one cable to rule it all. This one is actually A to micro, but it flips out and gives you A to C, and then it flips out on the other side to give you C to C. So a little cumbersome, but this will get you out of a pinch, especially if you have access to a USB port. You better have the cable. So pretty much everything nowadays is USB-C, so you may have a few things that are still on micro, some DJI stuff still on micro, but yeah, add this to your keychain, you're good to go. coming up on item number, insert number here. You've probably seen these all over the place. They're the little bungee nylon things for tying cables together or holding gear together. And you've probably seen you could buy these. I didn't ask you for a goddamn thing. So you've probably seen these all over the place, holding stuff together. Sometimes they're hard to find on Amazon, especially if you want this very, very Canon L lens red, or this very Manfrotto red. You can actually just buy the bungee cord and these little stoppers, and then you just make them yourselves. I bought a bunch of colors just to make them. I wanted like some high vis ones, so you can tie gear together. You can tie gear to your backpack. You can tie stuff to stands. Great to have a couple of those in your kit, even to like keep on your like your wrist just in case. That way you don't have to run back to your bag on set if you need it. Coming up on the next one's everyone's favorite clamp, the A-clamp, little tool, the A-clamp or spring clamp. There's a couple other terms for it that I think are a little weird. You can go by the size. This is a pretty big one. They make them smaller. They make them in nylon, but you can get these real cheap. You can get them at Harbor Freight. You can get them at Amazon. And if you need to attach like a balance card to something or just even get cables out of the way onto a C-stand, it's great even to have like 2 of these holding a backdrop to poles. You should definitely have at least 2, if not more of these in your kit. So a couple super cheap ones to go down. If you are going to be doing bands at all, or I think you should just keep this on you anyway, but a pair of earplugs. If you're recording a live band, even if you're doing a music video, like they might have a drummer who's going to be smashing on the drums, and yeah, you can kind of deaden those drums, but it still could be very loud, especially if you're blasting music for the band to hear, if they're not running in-ears. So if you got 8 hours of loud music, like your ear fatigue is going to be pretty strong. So I would keep earplugs on you just in case, because you never know. Maybe you're near a loud generator. Ask me how I know. And then another super cheap one, you should maybe, a lot of tripods now actually have these built in, these little levels, but these are so cheap, you might as well get a couple extras to keep them on your kit, especially if you're lining up a shot. Even if you're going off the level on the tripod, like that might be a little off from your cage. So this you can put right on the hot shoe on the camera, and you can make sure that it's totally level. You check several directions and make sure you're like straight up and down. Especially if you're doing like landscape photography, real estate photography, you can make sure you're dead straight with this and not have to rely on a little bubble level on your tripod. Super neat. And usually in those kits, actually, I went to go grab on my matte box. Usually they come with a little bubble level, but I throw it on my matte box just so when I have it on the camera, I can always check if matte box is straight and flat to the lens, so it's not askew and accidentally shows up in the camera. So another favorite is the good old gaff tape. You should have a good brand of gaff tape in your kit. There's definitely a difference between the cheap ones and like it's not a huge price difference, but there's a huge quality difference between the cheap gaff tapes. Like if you want to make sure that stuff is not leaving any residue behind, then I wouldn't really waste my time on the cheap stuff. And this is great, especially even if you're into live sound, just getting cables out of the way. Also getting cables on stand, so it's not, there's more people there are, more tripping hazards you're gonna have. So get them out of the way with this. Also, if your first AC is giving you shit, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this is another one that may seem obvious or may seem not obvious at all, but a pair of gloves. If you're gonna be hucking gear any distance over 1 foot, you better have some gloves on, because your hands are gonna be smoked. And then you're gonna have to go shoot a video, like that's gonna suck. And who knows, someone else might need them on set. You might need to touch I got a cat everywhere. You might need to touch a hot lens, or if it's cold. Like these are so cheap. These are not the cheapest, but go to Harbor Freight, you can get a pair of gloves for like $2. You can literally buy like 10 of them and just keep a pair everywhere. And we always have it. Definitely keep a pair of gloves like in your filmmaking toolbox, physically and metaphorically. So guys, that's actually the last item on the list. And here's that bonus. The bonus tip is to find a cheap pair, or not cheap, to find a cheap bit set. Of course, there's a couple missing. Why wouldn't there be? I usually keep these in a case, but just to have, these are a couple bucks, and you can get 100 set of these at Harbor Freight for $10. Because like I said, the flathead will get you pretty far, but who knows what you'll run into. You may need a Torx, you may need a Hex, you got your Phillips too, just in case, and you have a bunch of Phillips there in case you lose one, because you're gonna probably lose, as you can see, I lose the flatheads constantly. Very annoying. And I just use like a cheap iFixit screwdriver, leaving the kit with like a little adapter. That way, if I have to, I can run the smaller bits. And then if you are into Leatherman, just get their bits. They're even flatter. And then they also fit into the little Leatherman accessories. And who doesn't love an accessory? So this is what I'd call like a linear ratchet, or just like a regular ratchet. And then this one is a 90-degree ratchet. Can't talk today, but 90-degree ratchet. And you can put the Leatherman bits or regular 1/4-inch bits in here. And these practically, they fit in your pocket. You could use this to attach it to something, or just get a little, like especially these take up no space, so there's no reason not to have one of these. These are quite a bit. You could probably buy 3 sets of these for the price of one of these, unfortunately. But it's how much space you're really willing to try and save there. Yeah, so that's it for today. Let me know your favorite cheap filmmaking tools, especially if I missed something that you thought was important. Leave that in the comments. Everything in this video is going to be in the description. Hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. And then now I sip the coffee. So good. I forgot to put my little light on.